Hello everybody, welcome to Filmmaking. Today, Bojan Dulabic here. So, are you looking for a gimbal? Stay tuned. Alright guys, so in this video we're going to talk about the Moza AirCross 2 camera gimbal. And before we start, just a few housekeeping items. As in the past, Gudsen, the company behind the Moza products, has sent me this product for free for this review. However, they have no input on this review. They're not reviewing it before it's being uploaded, and all the opinions you're going to hear are my own. So, let's get started. This is the Moza AirCross 2 camera gimbal. The gimbal weighs 950 grams or 2 pounds. It supports a maximum payload of 3.2 kilos or 7 pounds and can be used for mirrorless or DSLR cameras. It has a 3000 milliamp battery with 12 hours of battery life and charges in 1.5 hours. When it comes to the front, we have an LCD display, a joystick to move the gimbal, and various buttons. On the right side, you have two ports. One is USB and the other one is a multicam port to connect this gimbal to a camera. On the left side, you have an on-off button and a wheel that can be used to pull focus or move the gimbal in various directions, depending on how you set it up. The trigger button, when pressed twice, will center the gimbal, and when you press it 3 times, it will rotate 180 degrees, and when you press it again 3 times, it will go back to its initial position. The joystick can be used to move the gimbal in various positions, up, down, left or right. To get to the menu, hold the center button for a few seconds, and you are presented with these options. If we start at the top with camera, and we go to select, here you can choose the cable to connect the gimbal to a camera. And then under parameter, you can see which settings you can change on your camera. Back to gimbal, here you have various options when it comes to the gimbal itself, which is mostly related to the motor and those types of things. If we go to operation, here you can choose what you want the various buttons to do on the gimbal. You can remap the joystick, the wheel, the trigger button, and the dial. Under advanced, you have auto tune, balance check, focus, inception mode, motion sensing, tracking, manual POS, and calibration. And if we go back to general, you have language, configuration, and about. All 3 axes on the gimbal can also be locked, which is great for transportation. Now let's take this gimbal for a test run. Alright, let's go back and I'll show you exactly how I did all the different shots you saw in here. I'll go through all of them and show you exactly which settings I used on the gimbal. Alright, so let's get rid of the bars and the color grading, and I'll guide you step by step through all the different clips and show you how everything was done. This is an inception mode clip. I was simply pointing the camera at the sky and just shooting for about 20 seconds or so. Here I'm simply moving the camera down as the gimbal is moving up, and I'm using the joystick to move the gimbal up. This is one of the 2 shots where I did use warp stabilization in post. Here's what the clip looked like without any stabilization. Here I'm simply moving from one side to the other and also using the joystick to move the gimbal. This is the second clip where I also used camera stabilization, and here's what it looked like without stabilization applied. And here's another shot where I used inception mode. I'm simply pointing the camera in front of me and shooting for about 30 seconds or so. And here I'm simply recording myself The gimbal is set to all lock mode and I'm just walking, and same with this clip here as well. And the same applies to both of these shots as well. Now in this shot I changed it to pan follow mode because I am moving the gimbal, and basically what I'm doing, I'm holding the gimbal on the side as I'm walking and I'm slowly moving it to the front. For this shot I changed the setting to quick pan mode, also known as sports mode. And back to pan follow mode. These shots are pretty straightforward. I'm either shooting myself or getting scenic shots or shots of my legs walking. They're pretty straightforward shots, nothing fancy here. Now this is actually an interesting shot. I'm using the track recording mode within the app. So the camera is actually pre-programmed to go on a certain path and it just repeats it. This is actually what the shot looked like, and I zoomed in because I'm shooting 4K. I can zoom in up to 50%, and then I just rehearsed it a few times until I got the shot that I liked. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. All in all, I think this gimbal is pretty sweet. I mean, you know, there's tons of gimbals out there. You know, most of them will do very similar things, you know, in terms of features. So, you know, there's not much that can distinguish one from the other. In this case, the good thing that you have going on with this one is the fact that it is very lightweight, that it is definitely, you know, it's less than 1 kilo, which with some of the other ones, you know, you're not going to get that. They might be a lot heavier. One other thing, you know, it depends on what kind of camera you are using. So the fact that this has a payload of 3.2 kilos might work for you, it might not work for you, right? So in my case, I only use mirrorless cameras, micro four thirds. So I have no problem, right? Whether it's my Panasonic G85, the one I'm using right now, or whether it's my Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II, God, that's a long name, or even you know, my original Blackmagic, they're gonna work, right? And with all of my lenses, it works fine. Well, except for one lens, which is like just big. It's ridiculous, but that's not meant for these things anyway. All the other lenses work fine. So in your case, you know, it depends. For example, if you have the new Blackmagic camera, you can use it, and it is advertised as, you know, with this gimbal on Moza's website. However, be aware, if you are using a very heavy lens, this might not work. If you are using a cage with it, this might not work. So in that case, you might have to step up to the Moza Air 2, which is the higher end one, and that has a much higher payload and, you know, that kind of stuff. So aside from that, you know, feature-wise, like I said, you'll be fine. As you saw with my little short film there, you know, it's definitely amazing. There's no doubt about that. I only had the couple of shots that I had to stabilize, and even with one of them, the one with the gates, I definitely had to stabilize that one. But the other one, I could have let it slide. You know, I'm just a little picky sometimes. So yeah, so there's that. The one thing I definitely hope that they will keep improving is the app. They've made tremendous improvements in the last little while, which is excellent, but I do feel it's still a little clunky, and I hope that they'll keep improving that, and I'm sure they will. It's, you know, they've been improving it so far, so that's fine. I haven't really been using or showing the app as much in this video. I did another video that you can check out right here, and or right here, somewhere up there, where I use the app a lot more, and you can see what it looks like and all that good stuff. And yeah, so all in all, it's all good. I think it's a pretty awesome gimbal that will allow you to get some really cool shots. And yeah, that's it. So if you enjoyed this video, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, hit that bell icon to be notified of future videos, all that good stuff. Thanks.